What's next? Okay, I'll try to make this short and sweet. My wife of 14 years is having an affair. We have 2 kids also. I found all this out about 3 months ago. It has been going on now for about a year. My problem is that I want to try and fix the marriage, but she tells me that she don't want to end the affair yet. I told her to fix us, she has to stop it with him. And she keeps telling me not to tell her what to do. I have started counseling 2 weeks ago and have another appointment today. I moved out last week and yesterday she says she wants to try and fix us. But she will not end it with him yet. I feel like such a sucker because I love her so much that I want to try and fix this. I know that we must fix ourselves first, but I feel with him in the picture that is not going to happen. Am I a sucker? Other man is not married. I move out because I couldn't deal with seeing her or knowing when she was going out. Also, to make it less stressful on my kids. I know it will be hard on them if we do divorce, but I felt it would be better for them now. One thing about me moving out is that things seem different now. What I mean is that she seems to be slowly coming around. Before me moving out, she never said that she wanted to try and work this out. It was always I don't know what I want or we could try to work it out. Yesterday she said that she wants to work this out, which I respond by saying you have to end it. She said that there I go again, telling her what to do. She knew him when she lived here when she was younger. She moved away when she was 12 and came back when she was 17. She reconnected with him on that wonderful site called Facebook, which I hate. She is in contact with him on her phone, calling and texting him. She sees him when she goes out. She told me a while back the old I love you but not in love with you and that she wanted her space, which I gave her until I felt she was getting too distant from me. When I tried to bring her closer to me, it seemed like she was pushing even further away. The exposure part scares me a lot. She is always telling me what happens is between us and no one else. She also tells me that I spill it to everyone, which I don't. I just need to talk to someone about it. I can't keep this bottled up or I will go certifiable crazy. Keeping my head in the sand. Funny, my family has been telling me to man up, but I guess I am too naive to take their advice. The part of my kids really hit home for me. They are the only thing I think about now. I do not want them to grow up in a house like that. Okay, now how? I mean, what does the lawyer say? How does this work? What about money and such? Only been out of house since Friday. I do have a counseling appointment today. You know, the kids' things that people are saying really hit home for me. There was a time in my life when I thought about quitting something, but I thought to myself how I can do that and tell my kids they can't quit. That is something that really hits home with me because of that. But on the same token, isn't this quitting? Not to sound like too much of a doormat, I am going to discuss this today and get the ball rolling tomorrow. I have been going through this long enough. The way I look at it now, what do I have to lose? My marriage is almost if not completely gone. What's the worst thing that can happen? I get a divorce. Well, I said this to myself for a long time. I'm hoping for the best, but planning for the worst. That's about all I can do, right? If this don't make her realize what is going on, nothing will. I know I can't go on like this forever. I think the time is now. This is showing a bad example for my kids. Well, I made the appointment to speak with a lawyer. I see her this week. I am finally manning up to the situation. I know I have to do this. Everyone was right in saying that I was in a fog. I was stupid into thinking that everything was going to be okay if I let time go by. I waited long enough for her to try and figure this out. Now at my time. I never was someone who wanted to share anything. So why in the hell was I willing to share my wife? I feel so ashamed that I waited this long to do something. But I know I am doing the right thing. I went to my counselor today, and he gave the same advice that everyone here gave me, which I am truly grateful for. I am not bluffing anymore, and this not, I repeat, not lip service. It's time to stand up for myself and my 2 children. We both, me and the kids, do not deserve this. God, I can't believe it took me this long to figure this out. Like everyone told me I was being naive about this situation. I truly thought it would work itself out if I gave her time to think about it. Gee, I feel like such a schmuck. I just checked the phone records, and lo and behold, she has been texting him still. I am going to completely blindside her with this. She always told me that I am nothing but a big P. Well, guess what? Not no more. Time to be the biggest D in the world. Like I said, time for stealth mode. She will never see this coming. Never. As far as work, she does. I know a lot about him, more than she does, which is funny. I can't go into specifics on here, but trust me, I know more than she does. It took me a long while to man up, and like I said before, when people talk about my kids and how they perceive me, that's when it really hits home. Now I do have balls of steel. I have come to realize that she only has 2 choices, me or him. I won't tell her that I will think about fixing it, and act like I don't give a crap, like she has done to me. I have grown stronger through everyone's input on here, and finally believing what people have told me. I was very naive about a lot of things, and I had blinders on about this whole situation, thinking it could get better if I sat around and waited. I waited too damn long and nothing was getting better. Only worse for me. I know it isn't going to be easy, but with my support group that I have met on here and my family, I know either way, I'm going to get through this and be a much better person. I can't thank everyone who responded to my threat enough for what they have done for me and made me realize it's time to put me and my kids first. My counselor said today that telling her to leave is no threat, but I'm sure she would fabricate something saying I did. That's why I know to get VAR. When I talked to the lawyer over the phone today, she asked me if I was still in the house. I told her no, and she asked why not. I told her I couldn't handle the BS that was going on, and she stated to me that was fine for now that I have only been gone a few days. She said when I see her this week, she would give me more insight of how to handle it. I have been planning this for a while. Very calculate and 100% not the way I usually do things. As I am reading, no more nice guy I see a lot in myself. I am the one who is always predictable, but not no more. She knew that I would sit back and do everything to try and win her back. Just like a woman posted earlier. And a man, this is unattractive to her. That's why the 180. Yes, it took some time, but it's now time to implement it. If I was going out, she would go out the next night. Once I went out 2 nights in a row, and she said that I think I can come and go as I please. I asked her, what the hell do you think you are doing? Her response was that I was making it hard on her cause she needed to get away. I've been through so much this last year. The gut feelings and the realization of what is going on. I just don't care what way it turns out. I just want it to be over and done with. I'm sick of feeling this pain. I want to get on with my life with or without her. I know this will make me a much stronger person and a much better father. I say a much better father because I am showing my kids that you should never be walked over. You know what's funny? When she told me about the affair, I thought for sure I would lose it. But I didn't. I was very calm, which surprised even myself. Maybe I was at peace knowing now that it was true. Throughout this whole thing I have been extremely calm, cool and collective. She pushed those buttons once too many times. Everything that she has done to me, said to me is now coming to the surface. I realize she don't deserve a man like me. That's one thing that people close to me have said to me about this. And I am really starting to believe it. My confrontation didn't go the way I thought it would, but he did say something that almost made me do something very stupid, but I didn't. I remember when he said it, I blinked and saw my kids with arms wide open saying, "We love you, Daddy." That is the reason I'm not behind bars as we speak. When I confronted her, she acts as if she didn't care. They both were at her friend's house. She acted like she didn't care about me or the kids. I could care less if she didn't care about me, but the kids, that's what hurt the most. Do I want to move back in? Yes, but I also do not want to have conflict with me there. What I mean about that is more or less I don't want to end up in jail because of something I did. People on here say they have no idea why I would want to Well, I will tell everyone why. I've been with the same woman for 20 years, and I am only 40. That's half my life. I still do feel love for her. I know this may sound stupid to some of you, and I'm sure some of you are fuming right now for what I said, but I can't change the fact that I do love her. Am I a pin in someone's eyes? I'm sure I am. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going through with starting the process. Someone also posted wondering if I am scaring her back. No, I am not. To be honest, that thought never even came to mind. What I do want to do is stand up for myself, which I believe I stated before. Because I want my kids to understand that no one can walk all over them or me. I have to set an example for them. Am I being wishy-washy? I know that I am not. I do have a plan. I do intend to follow through with it. My plan is not to win her over. My plan is to man up and show the whole world that at any cost I will fight my way out of a corner with my back against the wall. I don't like being called a P or someone that does not stand up for their family. And that's my plan. I know I will have good days and bad days through all of this. I'm sure I will have days that I even regret doing this. I know that I am standing up for myself. And that is what will keep me going. When I was looking at pictures of my kids today, I started to cry. I was crying because I didn't man up sooner. I showed them that for a while, it was okay that Daddy got pushed around and stepped on. That's when I hit me. I have to do this. I love the woman that she was prior to this. Yes, I do understand that she may be gone. If she does return to the woman that I married, then yes. R may be possible. If not, no way in hell. My lawyer said that she feels it's not a good idea for me to move back in. She has said that there is too much going on. I told her it makes me crazy to be there. I said when she goes out, I get to thinking about who she is with. I also told her that I might one day blow up. I know I wouldn't hit her, not in a million years, but if he dropped her off or something, all bets are off with him. I am going to give her the retainer Monday, and she told me she should be served Friday at her other man, the boss's house. She, the lawyer, said that if this don't wake her out of this fog, yes, she really did say fog, nothing will. It's funny, she is my lawyer and she also seemed like a counselor too, which is great. I know this what I have to do, like I keep saying. She still has no idea. Actually, she is probably out with him as I type this and she thinks all is great. What a reality check this is going to be for her come Friday. T was the first true weekend for me and the kids. I have to be honest, Friday night sucked big time. I knew this was going to be hard, but man oh man, that night was like a living hell. Took the kids out for dinner, and it sucked when the hostess set a table for 3. Kind of stupid, I know, but it was the realization that this is how it is going to be for now and possibly for a while. I couldn't stop think about things, but once I did sleep, it was great the next day. Had an awesome time with me and the kids. Even today was a good day for me, but nonetheless, still going to my lawyer's office once I get the money. Here is the update. I finally got my check and an appointment with my lawyer today. She will be served by the end of the week. She, my lawyer, advised me not to do it the way I have planned. She said that since I have to pay for both lawyers, not by choice, she felt that she would just keep fighting so that it would really break me. To which I agreed. It was funny, on my way her office, the End by the Doors came on the radio and I thought it was truly fitting. I know there are a lot of people out there who are going through the same thing, and let me tell you, it gets better. I know it may suck for you now, but it does get better. You will one day realize that no matter what you try to do, it's only you who are working at it. I know this may not be the case for everyone, but if you feel like you are working and the other person is not, get out. Don't fight a battle if you can't not win the war. It isn't worth it. I know. I am paying child support, which I am good with because I made them and help raise them, and with maintenance, which is New York's way of saying alimony. I know that I don't need or want to cheat, liar, manipulator, and a condescending woman in my life. I know that there is someone out there who will treat me the way that I want and need to be treated. Not that I am jumping into anything. By the way, I'm paying for her attorney because that's New York. Because she was a stay-at-home mom. As far as restricting other men, we are going to try. As far as they are, no way in hell. Nope. For what? I am working on me. There is no us now. I was the one who was working on trying to save it. No one else. She thinks the grass is greener. Well, I hope she has a lot of spray paint, cause it isn't greener. She lost the greatest man ever, and that's how I feel now. I may not be perfect, but I know I am pretty damn close to it. I'm not trying to be egotistical, but that is how I feel. Oh, and she does not have a real job. Here is the latest. She was supposed to be served Friday, but my lawyer's court proceedings went longer than she planned. She kept me informed about it. She couldn't get it to the process server in time. She apologized about it. She said Monday the 25 for sure. The funny thing is that Monday I have to work at the time when she is getting served. I know my phone is definitely going to be full when I get out of work. I can't believe the way I feel about it. I mean, here was the person loved more than anything else in the world, and I'm serving her with divorce papers. And I'm kind of happy about it. I don't know why. Maybe because of everything that happened, or the way everything played out. I don't know. It's funny, when I seem down about this, like I did over the weekend, I just keep thinking of my kids, and my list. The list is list of my great qualities and why I'm the greatest. I read them every day once I get up and before I go to bed to remind myself that I didn't cause this. Nor was I to blame for any of this. But, at one time was my biggest concern was that she would put some if not all of the blame of this one. Now, I can take it. If it makes her feel better, whatever. I'm a big man, literally and figuratively, and I know the truth. I know one day my kids will know the truth, and that's what matters to me. Not that I will ever badmouth her around them, they will know. She was served, and nothing from her. I was shocked to say the least. I knew she would never come crying back or anything, but sure thought it would have been different. I'm glad it was that way though. It was less stressful for me. I can't thank everyone on here enough for all your support through this. Don't worry, I isn't going to be a stranger. That's for sure. I know I have a long road ahead of me that may get pretty rough. But I know now that I have the strength to handle it. 2 months later, it's almost done. Basically, we are waiting on the sale of the house. I know I'm a strong person, but this has beat me down hard. Like everyone on here has said, you do have good days and bad. Right now, I would have to say it's 90% good days. Yes, I still have bad days which seem to bring to new lows every time, but I am doing good. The kids seem to be adapting well, which is my biggest concern. They are what increase the drive. I want to thank everyone on here who helped me emotionally. You people have no idea how valuable you are. If I could meet every one of you, I would buy each and every one of you beer. You all have helped me in ways that words cannot describe. She is acting like she don't care. One day when I told her about the house, she started to cry. I asked her what she was crying about and she told me all of this going on. I told her that I cried my last tear for her about a year ago. She just called me a jerk. I thought it was funny, but more or less, she is acting as if she don't care at all. That's where I am now 95% of the time. Well, house is on the market and have people looking at it this weekend. 3 people looked at it yesterday, 3 beds put in. 2 more looking at it today. The 3 were over asking price and all the same. Just going through the whole gambit of feelings now. Honestly, I didn't think it would go this fast. I was thinking maybe by the end of the month. About a week later, the one who bought it already sold their house. They are closing on these next week. Kind of bittersweet. This was the house that I thought I would live in forever. Well, things happen for reasons. Not that I'm not good with it. It's just, well, different. But time for a new chapter in my life. Next year is a new beginning for me. Almost 3 years later update. It's been 2 years since my divorce has been finalized and I truly do feel great. My kids took this pretty well and are adjusting rather well also. Was everything clear sailing? Absolutely not. But hey, life always changes, and strong people adapt and overcome. All in all, things are much better than I could have ever imagined. I've been dating, some good and some bad, but no one has met my kids, which I do feel is a good thing. I don't need my kids to meet every woman I'm dating. Did I start dating too early? I really don't know. Everyone is different and has different needs. Yes, I have had a long relationship, but she wanted to get married and I didn't. Will I ever get married again, or do I see myself doing it again? As of right now, I don't have that answer. Am I ruling it out? No, I have no idea what the future holds. I hope that I may have helped someone dealing with this because I know everyone on here helped me. Lastly, I just want to say to everyone, it does get better. Story 2. I've been married for 2.5 years. Within the first 3 months of my marriage, I found myself on Craigslist writing emails looking for casual good time. I got no response and didn't ever physically cheat on my wife, but she found the emails a couple of months later. The main focus for her was, why do you really want to be married to me, and did I actually do it? Well, the latter question was easy for me, because I knew I hadn't. Not so much for her, obviously, but I only had the truth to go on. The why was much tougher as it required much self-examination. I found my answer, long-winded, but I may get to it later. But it didn't make sense to her. The main reason for that was because she has her own ideas as to why, and since my discoveries don't sync up with her notion, she doesn't accept them or understand them. I also never had any doubt about wanting to be married to her. I pursued her so hard, and I left all rational though behind and just let my truest emotions lead on that one. Also, not an easy sell to her. I have admitted to her that if I hadn't been caught, I probably would never had admitted it and most likely kept on doing it. That doesn't sit well with her. 2 years ago, I sat at my computer in a hotel and let all of my honesty pour out of me. My deepest thoughts, regrets, outlooks, proclivities, everything was laid out. I did it for her. But I've come to realize that it was more for me to get all of my marital secrets and shortcomings down in front of me so I could deal with them, change myself into the person I really wanted to be. This letter, for her, has been concrete evidence that I don't want her or to even be married. She took it as a personal attack against her. She refuses to see my intent, that it was all a personal indictment on myself. Now, I understand how that can happen. She's feeling inadequate and doesn't trust my honesty. So, here's what I'm looking for. She feels I am a manipulator in our relationship and that my love for her is bull crap. We are at the point of being permanently apart because she feels I am the same person who did those awful things to her. She sees change, but it's not enough. She sees the smoke of infidelity, but not the roaring conflagration of commitment, love and remorse. Again, I understand it. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong here. There are plenty of details to be had in this, so please feel free to ask. I have no qualms about answering anything if it will help me to understand this situation. As an aside, I travel a lot for work, about 6 months out of the year, but this isn't a bone of contention. She knows who she married. That aspect was openly discussed. Obviously, it's not conducive to dealing with our problems when I travel. But it is what it is. When I'm home, I don't work and we get to spend a lot of time together. I was 40 when I got married. It was my first time. I've been living a bit of a rock and roll bachelor lifestyle for most of my adult life. I've had a few BF, GF relationships, but I always ended up becoming bored with them and talking my way out. I got a little too good at that. During our courting, which was about 18 months leading to marriage, I was still poking around, openly flirting and being a little too casual with women. No bonding, no kissing, nothing physical. That's what I've always done. I thought when I got married, things would just switch on and all that would go away. That I would only want to be with her and that we could just fulfill one another in every way. We didn't do any counseling, which was a mistake, and I was clearly naive about how marriage works. That is, it's work to make it what you want. I honestly didn't think twice about what I was doing. It was ingrained behavior, not a reflection on her, but a shortcoming of mine, as I've come to understand. Is that a crappy reason? A bit more. I'm curious as to why she is constantly telling me she wants me to sleep with someone else. She tells me she wants to take me to the Bunny Ranch in Nevada because she thinks that's what I want. Just tonight, as I'm about to go to La for the week, she says you have my permission to sleep with whoever you want in La. I don't get this. I have always taken full responsibility for it all. We have done plenty of counseling together and it's helped some. I think I have clearly identified that when it came down to it, my pleasure mattered more than anything in past relationships. My morals were skewed, but I can't act like that and have her as my wife. That's the work that I've done over the last 2 years. As I say, I was good at talking my way into and out of things. I didn't realize what a deceptive practice that was, so I have given into full transparency with her. She has all my passwords and access to everything. It's an easy choice for me to change these things because it's very clear what I want. I want her as my wife and I have to comport myself as such. Simple. She just doesn't believe that it's as simple as I'm making it. I needed the wake-up call and I turned on a dime. She is still leery. Again, understandable. So, every day I am ceaselessly vigilant in my practices. Occasionally, I say or do something stupid or something that triggers her. But I am always resolved in the face of it. Important to note that she has had this type of thing happen to her before, and I basically just stuck a knife into her most vulnerable frailties. I was so stupid and so selfish. I didn't even notice that part. I feel like all I can do is keep being the man she wants, but she's faltering more and more. Today has been terrible, and she's texting me about separation as we speak. The reason I'm here is I'm hoping someone will throw something out there that clarifies her actions and feelings. I am fully confident about why I did what I did. She was adamant from the off that this was the main thing she needed an answer to. Why? I did counseling, talked to many people, and did some harsh introspection, and I came to the conclusion that's in the above posts. This explanation does not satisfy her. We keep running into this wall of what she thinks it is and what feels right to me. She just won't accept that my behavior was all based on a naivete of what marriage really was. I made a mistake not getting any premarital counseling to discover that I needed to change a number of things that were ingrained in my personality to be the married man I wanted to be and be the husband she wanted. I really just thought the switch comes on and everything is fine. Again, my moral compass was locked into something that was way off. I practiced deceit in all of my previous relationships without calling it deceit. She therefore feels that I am just trying to manipulate her into seeing things my way just so I can be with her. She thinks I just don't want to lose a fight. She thinks it's a dishonest answer because it doesn't fit in with what she thinks it is. There has been no reconciling this point. All I have is the truth here, so I have to stick with it. What else can I do? I am not saying she is wrong about the me she found out about. That person was there. I'm saying she doesn't believe I can just change the way I say I have from that person to the person I am becoming. The person that I want to be. She just doesn't think it's possible. Again, all I have to work with is my everyday actions. My willingness to forego my own feelings, my own hurt, and my own desperation for what she needs is with me the work of an instant. These actions are not hard. I can't communicate very well with her, though. She needs more. But the things that I try, the honesty I bring forth, and the love I try to shower all the time goes into an abyss. She's miserable because I'm not doing the right things, but I don't know what those things are. She tells me and I think I'm doing them, but then I get back that I'm so far off the mark I'm not even playing her sport. My slip-ups are usually an attempt at getting closer. I try, for instance, to be as open and honest with her as I can. I tell her everything so she doesn't think I'm hiding anything. Here's an instance. I was on the road and we had a long work stretch, and the last night we went out and had a few. Pretty rare for me, actually. Anyway, there was this young girl in the bar who was all over everybody, and she ended up all over me. I was tipsy, but I didn't do anything inappropriate. After talking with her a while, she wanted me to take her home. I suggested she call someone to do that because she was way too drunk, and she did. Her angry sister came in, scowled at us all, and took her away. I told my wife this story the next day when I was well hungover, and she got very upset with me for telling her. She said she didn't want to know about stuff like that. I had no idea. I was just sharing a story, but it was the wrong thing to do. I don't have a proper sense of what those things are with her or why that's something she doesn't want to know. It's all honesty in my book, but I don't know the boundaries. Things like that. Good intentions, but the wrong actions. My wife has run out of patience. Nothing is happening for her, and she is starting to panic, thinking that if she doesn't act now, she may never get out. Wondering why has it taken me so long to make things right. See, she's pretty good at diagnosis. It comes very easy to her, so when others don't see the same things, which are so obvious to her, it's maddening to her. She doesn't understand it. I'm kind of slow in figuring these things out. It's not a natural instinct for me. My gut feelings aren't strong because I clipped my capacity to diagnose people because I always hated it being done to me. The one thing in my whole life that does not fall into that is my love for my wife. I don't need any explanations as to why I want to be with her always. I just do. It's very easy to say, well, if that were true, then you wouldn't have. But there are no blanket statements when it comes to love. Most of what I've done to make things right can be found in my actions. I set up the counseling. I left my computer at home when I went on the road. I called and talked to her several times a day while traveling. I don't argue with her points of view in this matter. I got rid of every old girlfriend, fling, whatever out of my life. Any female friends I do have, I had her meet so she could get to know them, get a feel for them, get a sense of my relationship with them so she could feel comfortable knowing them as people and not ghosts in some other life of mine. I gave her an open book of my life. She has every password to everything I have. Email, Facebook, phone password, credit card accounts, forums I belong to, everything. We bought a house together, and when the realtor insisted that I put my name on the house alone to get a better finance rate, I would not budge from getting her on it with me. We pay half a point higher in interest because of it, but I don't care because it's the right thing to do. My wife is a bit of a slop. I am the one who keeps the home clean. I clean up after her and her 15-year-old son, who lives with us. I take on the role of stepdad to the best of my ability and never complain about it. It's part of taking care of my family. The trouble starts when we talk. If I bring something up, it usually doesn't last long. She gets defensive or I get misunderstood and it ends before it starts. We do okay in therapy, but not on our own. If she voices something and I respond incorrectly, which I usually do, then it's back to me being a master manipulator to get what I want and I don't understand anything. She gets hurt, openly voices that I don't actually love her, that I'm more interested in winning than solving anything, and that's it. We had about a half an hour conversation today, which is pretty good for us. And during that, she expressed how disappointed she was that I didn't approach her more. She tells me that for the last 2 years she's been putting on a fake smile during the day, completely checking out during bonding. As she put it, pretending I'm the person she knew before all this happened, and longing for me to eventually say the right thing. I know all of this, but she gets very offended when I bring it up and the conversations go nowhere. When I ask her what it is that she wants, she tells me, very simply, that she wants what happened never to have happened. She wants the man she fell in love with and wanted to marry before this happened. Now, am I talking too much or not enough? The latter, I'd say, except I don't actually know what to say. She is convinced that something happened in my past that led to a distortion of morality in me, a specific event, and that I need to do further therapy, introspection, whatever it takes to figure that out. Then and only then will it make sense to her and she'll be able to move on. I understand that I can't make any arguments against what she feels she needs to be able to move forward. If that never comes, however, then what? Well, she's told me that if we never get that particular resolution, then my reasons for doing it are far worse than what I actually did. I really don't know what to do with that. I put a lot of thought into what you're saying about being the person, authentic as you put it, and just appearing to be that person. I am certain beyond any doubt that I am not at all just appearing to be that person. I will stop short of saying I am that person, but I am certainly becoming that person. As I've said, I am always attentive to myself and what it takes for me to be the man I want to be. I slip up, but I always catch myself and make myself accountable. That's probably why I told her the bar girl story. I don't do it right sometimes, but I'm always aware of what's going on in me. That took a little time, but it's becoming second nature to me. Those slips cost us, but I never let it sway me. Last night my wife felt the need to stay in a hotel. I have left town today on a work trip and she just wanted me gone so she could get her head together without me. She is in full-on loathe mode. Sent me many texts that were all driven by hurt and frustration. I know she didn't mean much of it, but it does become difficult for me to check all of my own feelings at the door. I'm simply not allowed to have them, but when I don't exhibit them, she baits me and goes for the most painful things she can say. She knows it's killing me, but I don't show it. This is the bed I've made, I know that. Thing is, she ended the conversation with these two things: talk of separation and that we need to discuss it, and that I was free to do whatever I wanted with whomever I wanted while out of town, and that she would likely be doing the same thing. The rub here is that in the first year after this whole thing broke, she would levy the harshest threats she could muster at me. She hated being that person and after a while and swore to me that she would never even use the word divorce or separation unless she really meant it. I told her I have no interest in discussing separation. It's not a topic on the table for me. If it's something she wants, she can figure out what to do and just let me know. I'm just not going to do it. Separation means divorce to me, plain and simple. Am I wrong reacting like this? I'm just not going to fight her on anything. My wife thinks I need a traumatic loss to change. Some sort of full-on, profound breakdown, all is lost moment of traumatic loss. I had something I can only liken to a near-death experience. I thought for sure I had lost her completely, and when I saw the glimmer of hope that was the possibility that we could save our marriage, I was a changed man. I have endeavored to the best of my ability to do what I need to change. Am I alone in thinking that this is sufficient? I will lose her if I don't change, and I break down in tears over the thought of that. Can a person change on such a thing? Tonight, I have received this email from my wife, slightly edited to remove names, etc. I don't really want to be here typing this email right now, but for some reason, I feel that I should be. It's fair for you to know my feelings at this point in time so that there are no surprises later should you be going along thinking one thing only to find out it's another. Where I'm at is basically at the end of a very, very, very long rope. It's been 2 years of information accumulation and sitting with a lot of knowledge I've been trying to sift through. I guess you could call it heavy deliberation. I come to this point in time feeling tired, drained, and realizing I am miserable. I've been miserable ever since the day I found those emails, and all you've lied about on top of those lies. The cheating, who you've slept with, and a lot of other things I suspect that I will never know the truth about. I was able to go the last year doing all I could to move forward with marriage and living together, attempting to live in forgiveness and moving on, to find peace and zen and live within it, hoping it would all die down. But my feelings don't go away, and my opinions, they haven't changed. And my feelings and opinions are not going to go away no matter what you say or do. You know exactly what to say to me and what I need and want to hear, and you are beyond more than capable of delivering whatever you need to say to clean up whatever mess you make. You have spent your entire life with your heart and soul in duplicity. And of all people to pay the price for finally help you seal the gap. It makes sense that the one who finally did it was a woman you loved as much as you loved me. On the other side of the coin, I'm the one person you could ill afford to cause this kind of pain to. I think the last couple of years of our marriage has been me in a post-trauma situation. In shock, in damage control, ashamed of my poor choice because of my friends and family and son. The events that transpired after the first trauma only nailed the coffin because you never volunteered any of it. But instead you let me find it for myself with careless abandonment. The last thing I want to do is get a divorce, split up, move out, deal with this house. Uproot my son in the middle of high school. Tell him about you and start over again. The money and time and stress that would go into that sounds like a slice of hell that I just can barely wrap my brain around with all that is going on. But the fact is, I no longer feel that it would be me that caused those things to happen if they were to happen. In the past, I kept saying to myself, I don't want to do that to my son, etc. But now, I no longer feel that it was me that did it to him. Yes, it was a poor decision by marrying someone before I really took the time to get to know him that caused it. But I don't think with all the cards on the table the way that they were at the time, that I can continue to solely take the blame. It has been since I got married that I was ever able to kiss someone or make love to someone with passion and clarity and no pain. No deception. That's been a long time to me. My need for physical closeness, affection, and intimacy is supreme in my being, probably because I didn't get it when I was younger. I've spent my entire marriage going through the motions with it, numb inside, and deadening myself so that I can forget the anguish I have towards the man I am letting inside of me, making you a Spanish lover or making you someone else other than you. I have never had to do it to this extent, and it's making me question who I've become on every level. I simply cannot go on like this, and I'm at the point now where I have decided that I won't anymore. Whatever the cost. I can't go on pretending you are someone else so that I can let you get close to me. I've recently had a lot of temptations come my way with men, perhaps my getting out there more, and it seems men can sniff me out. I want to have an affair. I want to close the part of me off to you entirely that shares what I can of my body and give it to someone else. If only for a night. I would never cheat on you without warning, and that is why I am telling you this now. I am telling you that I am very close to having an affair, not with anyone you or I know or anyone in my current lineup of friends and acquaintances, but with a stranger. Some night, I think about it every day, thinking about a fun date where I am sexy and funny and alive, a date where I am the woman that you wanted to go out with in Florida to forget you were married to me, for the same reasons you wanted to sleep with them. I now want to sleep with someone else, someone I can look at and adore, knowing they have never hurt me, and even if they did, it would never be in the vein of hurt that I experienced with you. Every day that I am alone, knowing the night will come and I will still be alone. I think about this, knowing you won't be here for another month, and knowing that even when you do get back, I can't have this with you. My resistance and moral core against it are slipping more and more each day. I want to do it to rebel, to avenge myself, to revenge against you, to feel pretty and new and fresh to someone else. So clearly the idea of separation is not something that really matters compared to the distance I am going in my thoughts. I feel so good not talking to you these last couple of days, even though I know that at any moment I will probably miss you terribly. But I think I inhaled all of you that I could in the last couple of years. I took you in and memorized all that I could, just so that I could mourn with what happened between us. I've been in shock, trauma, and awe over what happened, and I don't think I could overstate that enough. This is why I bring up separation, because these are my thoughts, and my thoughts tell me I can't be on this road I am mentally while being married without speaking up about it. I want you to change your passwords to your email and Facebook accounts to something I don't know. I no longer have any desire to check up on you or read your personal communications, and I haven't in a long time, really. I want you to get your life and privacy back. It was all a facade anyway, as if you don't have email accounts with whole other servers you access via other devices besides your laptop and phone. And I don't even really care if you are out there trying to get laid. That's a choice you can make with your life and time if you want, and I don't want to have anything to do with regulating that with or for you. I am going to see our MC tomorrow. Something has got to change between us. I don't know what it is, but I have to be honest when I say that I think a separation might not be the worst idea, so that we are forced to deal with these issues, not fall back into old traps and habits of getting complacent with one another. I want to know how you would feel if I had an affair with a stranger, very much as I suspected. This letter is a good representation of my wife's position. As I've said, she's very good at clearly expressing herself, and I feel there are no doubts left. This is her truth, no matter what I think. We'll be apart for a couple more weeks as I am on the road working, and that's probably a good thing for the time being. She can really work out what she wants to do. I really don't feel I have any say at this point. I never gave her a chance to show me the wife she could be, and I am going to lose her because I couldn't be honest with myself for a long time. The loss between us is shared, but very different. I have not been able to have feelings about any of this because I'm not entitled to them. But if talk of what my life is going to be after divorce comes up, I feel I have to acknowledge my own feelings to move ahead. My comment: have you betrayed your spouse? How you recover your marriage? Comment down below, sub and bell, and keep on moving forward.